Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here, and Merry Christmas if you celebrate, if you are watching this when I am uploading this. I should be uploading this on Christmas Eve in my time zone, but I know it might be Christmas Day for some of y'all, or maybe you're seeing this in the future. Either way, I hope you had a great holiday, a great Monday, a great whatever, and I hope you're looking forward to this build because we are creating a house from one of the most iconic Christmas movies, in my opinion, which is A Christmas Story. This is one of the movies I never watched during the lead up till Christmas because there's always a 24-hour marathon of just back-to-back playing this film over and over again, and I look forward to that every year. I'm sure I will be watching it this year, and I thought it was only a matter of time before I decided to recreate this home in The Sims, and it was a little bit of a challenge, much like many movie homes are, because the outside of this house is a real home, but the inside was filmed in a studio. Since then, though, the people that own this house have actually tried to transform the inside to be as close as possible to the house, so it's not perfect, but it's close. And so I tried to use a mixture of the original inspiration behind the house, like what they used in the movie, as well as what has been done to the actual house in real life to make it look like the interior, because honestly the inside of the house does not completely fit on the outside, which was, a little bit of a struggle to work with, but I think I worked it out okay. It doesn't include everything, but I think we have like the key parts of this home, and I'm really proud of how this came out. So if you like this build and you'd like to download it for yourself, it is available right now on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You can also find it under the hashtag Gryphi, and that information will also be in the description down below as well. This house, for the main purposes of like what needs to be playable for your Sims to live in it, or is fully play tested. There are some things that are in here just for decoration though that your Sims are not going to be able to access, and I will point those out as we get to them. But I was just trying to get this as accurate as possible and get the right vibes of this family home. I really like recreating things like this based on movies around the holidays. A few years back, I had created the house from Home Alone. I will link that down below if I remember to do so. I really like how that one came out, and it was before we were able to even place windows like freely, so it was difficult to do that one, but I think it came out really cool, and I'm excited to see what we end up doing in the future because I'm not really sure what other houses I could do in future years. But this one was really fun. I did really want to get the staircase right, so I was playing around with platforms and staircases here for a while. I ended up just twisting it around, just using the modular staircases. So you'll see me doing that here momentarily. I do get rid of that platform, and this worked out really well. They have an interesting shaped staircase, and I also ended up extending the size of this house because it wasn't going to fit the living room the way I wanted it to. So as we get to decorating, I realized I need a little bit more space. And also at the very end of this build, I do move the lot. Currently, I'm building in the world of Copperdale, which came with the High School Years expansion pack, but I do end up moving it to Willow Creek from base game, just because this lot is in a weird orientation. It's a 20 by 15 lot, which should be plenty of space for this house, but it's in the wrong orientation. I needed it to be deeper than it is wide, and that wasn't the case for this lot, so I do end up moving it a little bit later on, but here we are trying to figure out the living room, how I want to have the fireplace here, and this living room's interesting because it has back-to-back couches in the middle of the room. And also, I wanted to include a Christmas tree in here, but I also wanted to include the leg lamp, which unfortunately we do not have a leg lamp in The Sims. So I wanted to create something that had the same idea. So I grabbed a couple of items from the menu and decided to ultimately use this torso because I feel like it has the same vibes. And I just stuck a lamp in it. I ended up changing the lamp in a little bit to be one that has like more frills coming off of it, because I thought it looked a little bit closer to the leg lamp from the movie, but regardless, it's not a leg lamp, so it is what I was able to do. I probably could have downloaded some custom content. I'm sure there is one for that lamp. It would make sense there would be, but I just wanted to create something with everything we have in the game so far, so it'd probably be easier to download if you want to. Although I don't know if this is the kind of house you would want to download and play in. Is it just more fun to look at it because it's from a movie, or is that something you would like to play in game? I'm not really sure because I've never really played as pre-established characters from movies or even as myself in the game. I've always really enjoyed just creating random Sims and telling their stories, from scratch, like whatever comes to mind. I don't like replaying things that actually exist, if that makes sense. But I know not everyone plays the same way, so I'd be curious if this is the kind of stuff that you like to play with in the game or just prefer watching, because it's kind of fun seeing it come together in in our games, being able to recreate stuff from movies and television. I have a lot of fun with these. Anyway, because of having the leg lamp in here, I end up moving the tree back and forth so many different times, because earlier in the movie, the leg lamp is in front of that main window, but then so is the Christmas tree, but, they can't be in the same spot at the same time. So I do end up moving the tree a couple of different times, and it ends up being next to the fireplace in the end. I think that made the most sense, since I did want to include the armchair that was over here, as well as the radio and the desk. So I opted to put the Christmas tree in the back corner, and that's where it lives in the actual house that you can go and visit. It's a museum now, I'm pretty sure. I've seen lots of tours of it on YouTube because it was helpful for my research for this build. And they tend to keep the Christmas tree in that back corner now because the leg lamp is in the window. So that's what I decided to do in here. And I just kind of keep popping up and down the stairs, trying to reconfigure the size of this house and the floor plan. And just getting some presents around the tree. I grabbed the ones from the holiday pack here, but a little bit later on, I should be grabbing the ones from Seasons as well, which I really like. I like the wrapping paper on them. I just think it's a nice bit of contrast having a variety of different wrapping papers. I also got a rocking chair over in the corner, and we're getting some garland up above the fireplace, as well as some more candles. I think this ends up looking so cozy, and there is a little closet behind the steps, and I put some items in there. It's not accessible. I just wanted it to look like it was fully decorated and not just a random space. So you could probably move stuff around to make it so your Sims could go in there if you'd prefer to, but I threw the decoration box from Seasons in there and a few other things. We'll get to that shortly, but right now I'm just adding some more presents under the tree and on the table, some candles around, a lamp, and depending on the shot, depends on what items you see. So I was just having fun trying to figure out what things to include, and not all of this is strictly, this is exactly what you see in the film. It's kind of inspired by. I have that giant crate in the entryway that's meant to be the big crate that says fragile that the lamp came in. I thought that was fun. And then the kitchen is the spot that really made the least sense. No matter where I put things, it didn't seem to line up properly with the real house or the one from the movie. And so I just decided to go purely on vibes here. I wanted to have the same tile and some of the older appliances. There's a fireplace in here. I end up putting some random machinery that I thought would look good, because I think they have a old school washer in their kitchen. I think it's a green cylindrical item, but we only have really modern washers and dryers in the game. So I ended up putting the water heater from the For Rent pack next to the sink a little bit later. I also have 4 chairs in here, and I did playtest this. Your Sims are actually able to navigate around these chairs, no problem. It doesn't look like they would have space to do so whatsoever, so I was actually really surprised that they were able to, and I was really happy with that. So that was a happy accident, I suppose. I also got a radio in here, some books, a bunch of things up on these shelves, because in the movie there are some shelves in the kitchen that are just full with all sorts of clutter, and it was difficult to try and find things that felt time appropriate, because this film was filmed in the 80s, but it's based on the 40s. And so trying to get items that felt like they were the right time period was challenging. And I'm sure there's things in here that don't quite fit, but I was, limited to what was in the game. And I think I did an okay job. I had a blast with this. I love this movie so much. There's just so many good scenes, and I feel like you can watch it in any order. It doesn't matter. It's on all day on Christmas, and I've always just walked in at a random scene, and you can kind of pick it up wherever you're at and follow along, and I quite enjoy that. So one thing I didn't include in this build is the dining room, which I don't feel like is as iconic as the kitchen and the living room anyway, but it didn't make sense in the floor plan to include it. There was nowhere for it to go. So I decided not to have it in the end. I thought, having the kitchen where Randy eats like a piggy was a little bit more important. So that's what I decided to do. And then at the top of the steps here, I wanted to include the telephone that the mom calls to find out if her, tell the other mother that Ralphie learned the word fudge from their son. So I wanted to put that there, but it's like an old phone that is on the wall, and we don't have them in the game. We don't have any functional home phones, but we do have like a decorative phone with a lunchbox from the Basement Treasures kit, which still feels like way too new of a phone for what I wanted to include. But it's all we had in the game, so that's what I decided to do. And then this is Ralphie and Randy's room. That bat that I put on the other side of the bed, I was imagining was actually the Red Ryder BB gun that Ralphie got for Christmas. I thought that that would be kind of a fun idea to put over there, but we don't obviously have that in the game. So I just put the bat, and then we have some old games and trophies and like kids' toys and posters. And the walls of this room are bright red. In the movie shots, it looked like they were plain red, but then in the actual house, when you look at like what it looks like now, it looks like it was a red wallpaper with like sailboats on it. But we don't have that in the game, so I just opted for a plain red, and I got some more posters, and I actually ended up putting the toy box in here from Growing Together, which I thought was really nice because it's an older style toy box, and I feel like most of the ones we have in the game just don't really make sense. I was really excited about the bathroom because I feel like I got this layout pretty well done, because if you're standing at the door, the sink is right next to it, and then the toilet is in front of it. We have a toilet that has the wooden seat, and I wanted to include the laundry basket in here that we are decoding our little message about always drink your Ovaltine. So I included that in here. I thought that that was really cute. And of course, getting the mirror up above the sink, as well as like some toothbrushes and, you know, little things that you would keep in the bathroom, probably like aftershave and toothpaste and all of that. I didn't include the bar soap in here just because I didn't like how it looked. But that is a very important thing to have in here. Or maybe it's not in here because Ralphie has it right now. I've never had to have a bar of soap in my mouth. Is that something parents still did when I was a kid, or still do now? If you say bad words or do anything, like I've always heard of that as a punishment, and of course from this movie, but it's not something I've ever experienced or really thought about. So now I'm kind of curious about that. Anyway, I had this extra space over here, so I made it into a closet. It just has some clothes as well as the electricity box, and then this is the parents' bedroom. I honestly can't remember if we see this room in the movie at all. I couldn't find any reference pictures of it, and I didn't want to rewatch the entire movie. I rewatched certain scenes to get like some stuff downstairs right, but I'm planning to, you know, watch the movie on Christmas Day like I do every year, so I don't remember this room even existing in the film, so I just created this as like a regular primary bedroom, tried to keep it in the style of the rest of the house, and I think it came out okay. It's nothing too special. I don't think it's very important to the film, so I don't think it's included, but I might be wrong. If so, then you know, this room doesn't make sense and is probably incorrect, but this is the only place in the house it would have fit, so this is the shape it would have been regardless. It's just maybe if it was in the film, I might have picked different furniture. I'm just not entirely sure on that. But anyway, I just got like a couple of dressers in here, a chair, and then downstairs I realized I forgot a chair here. At one point, the old man is sitting here, so I wanted to include that. And then we are going to be moving the lot to Willow Creek and finishing the landscaping. Because they extended the lot size, I was able to put the staircases back to where they're supposed to be. I had pushed it back a little bit to fit on the lot I had originally, and then I just got some bushes out front and a couple of trees and also a car in the driveway, which doesn't have any terrain paint because I was building this in the snow, but I will try to remember to upload that. But if I don't, that'll be a really easy fix. But anyway, with that, we are coming to the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed this. I hope I did this home justice. I had a lot of fun with this. And I hope you all have a fantastic holiday and a happy new year. And thank you so much for hanging out with me for this. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and click that bell to be notified when I upload, and enjoy those screenshots. Bye, everyone.